Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe. Visit clive5art.co.uk.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for pressing that play button. Yes, today we're going to be doing another African type of painting. I've got a 10 by 12 canvas panel which you can see before you. I've done a quick preliminary sketch on it. This is one of the canvases that I did in how to make your own canvas, so please check the iCard out there. I'll put the link in that. So without further ado, let's have a look at the palette and the colours I'm going to be using today. I've got a range of brushes, as you can see. They're the standard brushes that I use in nearly every painting. If I've changed anything, I will let you know. I've got my medium mix, my flow improver, my retarder, a little bit of liquid clear. These products are available on the website and they are in their little medium bowls. I've also got the colours which are going to be digitally enhanced on the screen, and I've got some gesso with a little bit of raw sienna in there and my mixing straw. So I'll put the colours up, I'll mix this up, and we'll get back and let's get some painting done. Okay, so just mixing the raw sienna with the white, as you can see in there. It's a lovely, warm, peachy type of colour, and I got one of these little stirring sticks that I acquired from a coffee shop. Yes, I picked up a couple of these on your way out, and you can wipe them, dry them off, and reuse them. And I like using them for stirring my paints. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a short flat. This is a half short flat. Okay, I'm going to moisten down a little bit of my palette like that. Okay, and I'm picking up some of this, and I'm going to put a very, very quick ground on. Now you can see this is dragging. This canvas panel is actually quite. It's got a deep tooth in it, so it's quite rough, and I quite like that type of canvas. So I gotta find Mr. Atomizer bottle, which I'm just gonna squirt on to the canvas just to moisten it down. That's going to allow my paint, my ground, just to slide across a little bit easier. I don't want a thick coating of this. All I want is enough just to seal in my line work, and they're just guides and just to seal that canvas off. So I'm going to proceed to do that, speed that up just a touch.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe. Visit clive5art.co.uk.
Did you see that? I threw my little pot across. Okay, so I'm just finishing that up, and I do speed up one or two little things now. It's no point me just sitting here for 10 minutes putting the ground on and wasting video time, because the important thing is to actually paint. That's the plan. It certainly is. So there's my little pot. I'm just going to chuck that in my bin with my bin, and there it is. And I'm going to dry that off very quickly with a hairdryer, and let's get down and do some serious painting. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into a detail brush. I think I'm just going to pick up this number 4, and I'm just going to moisten my brush. Always moisten your brush a little bit. Get some moisture into the bristles, because that stops sucking. It stops the bristles sucking the paint, the moisture out of the paint, I should say. Sucking the paint out the moisture, sucking the moisture out of the paint, and it just makes for just a bit of an easier flow. In this instance, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of flow improver for there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a thin paint like that. And I'm twisting my brush. I don't know if you can see. I'm twisting my brush like that through my fingertips to get to a nice sharpish type of point. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to very, very quickly just go over my line work, and I'm not worrying too much about accuracy at this particular moment in time. All I want is that nice shape. There you go. So I'm just concentrating on that, and as you do this, you start thinking about where you're going to put your lights and your shadows, and build up that painting in your mind. This is what I'm trying to say, is the earlier you start to see this painting develop, the easier it's going to be to actually paint it as you do it. Now, when I plan paintings, or I do a painting for myself, what I normally do is, as I'm lying in bed, I'll actually paint that painting a couple of times in my mind. That way, when I come to canvas, I find it a lot easier to actually paint. There we go. So I'm just getting this line work in place, and just using a bit of flow improver. And I'm doing it this way today because I thought I'd do something different. I thought I'd do it in a different way today, and trying to find all these different ways of doing things. And I have done quite a few African style paintings, and old Cinnamon, she messaged me the other day and she said, "Clive, is there any reason why you were painting a lot of African scenes?" And until she said it, I didn't really notice, because making sure that's a nice point. And you do this sometimes. Sometimes you're not really aware of what you're doing. And my brush is splayed. And but yeah, and I looked at it. I thought, yeah, it's most probably because I've been so cold the last few months. The weather's been cold, and we come in out of that winter period into autumn and spring and summer. And I thought, let's do something warm. And I've been trying to warm myself up because I get a lot of pain in my legs. So I tend to paint a lot of summer type paintings. So I hope that's answered your question, Cinnamon. And yeah, that's why. There's no other reason for it, really. I just like to paint. I get ideas. I get a lot of ideas sent in to me. So if you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment in the comment box below, or please use my email there, or contact me on the social media page on the website. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see me paint. And I got an ideas book, and it's quite full at the moment. And I get sent ideas, and I get asked, I get requests, and I do work my way through them, but I also do some paintings that I want to do as well, because I think that's important, that we try and do that. Now, this is going to be some sort of a pot here, so let's just develop that shape. There you go. And that's going to have a possible handle on it, like that. You can see the way I don't know if you can see my brush. Let me let the camera focus on my brush. Can you see that? How that's split? And it does that sometimes. Now, to rectify your brushes like that, there's a little video in the iCard there, and it tells you a quick tip on how to actually sort these brushes out. So I invite you to go and click on that, and that's going to take you in and show you how to recover your splayed brushes, because I don't throw much away. I try to save and use as much as I can, and even old brushes have got their uses, and I'm going to be doing a video on brushes before too long. And there you go. So we finished that line work. Alright, there's one more bit to do. Let's put this bowl on her head, and make you a Molly barking today, because my wife is home from work because she's on holidays, and Molly doesn't like the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner, so she barks a lot. Okay, so I'm going to quickly dry that with a hairdryer, wash these two brushes, and I'll be back in a blink of an eye. Okay, so I'm picking up a another 1/2 inch short flat, because I've got a couple of these on the go just to save a little bit of time. I'm going to pick up a little bit of let's go raw sienna by there, mixing that in. I'm going to pick up a bit of white to that, so that's white and raw sienna. There you go. Raw sienna tends to be a little bit transparent, so adding white to it, it does change its value, but also makes it a little bit more opaque. So I'm looking just to strengthen up, and don't worry about going over your black lines. That's not a worry. We just preserved that. There we go. This is what I'm trying to do now, is get a nice colour change there like that. And I'm not too worried, as I said, about that difference. Now I'm going to add a little bit of raw sienna, more raw sienna to the one side. So I'm darkening the one side, and then I'm going to bring that colour in like that. And I'm not changing, I'm not cleaning my brush, I'm just trying to meld these and merge these. You heard me say that before, these colours together. I'm just going to, where's my bin? There it is. I'm just going to get a mister bottle. There you go. Just to keep that paint working on the surface of the canvas. Now I'm going to bring a little bit of burnt umber in, because I want to darken that edge off here. There. Getting that colour to mix in there like that. If it doesn't flow, either use a bit of medium mix formula or a little bit of flow improver, and you'll find, or a combination of both, and you'll find that this will flow a lot easier. There you go. I want a nice transition of colour. Going back into a little bit of raw sienna. I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm not cleaning my brush yet. I'm going on an arc like that. I want it to be slightly darker down here, so I'm going to go into more burnt umber. I want to go slightly darker down here like that. And the reason I just washed my brush very quickly, and I just dipped it in the water and just wiped it like that. So that's just to help a little bit with that flow. And I'm just going to come down. Now you can see why I strengthened my line work. There you go. I'm going back into this raw sienna and white. I'm just increasing that arc like that. Now blend in this edge. I don't want that edge to be sharp, because it's going to dry on me, and I want it to blend and merge into that ground that we put on. So if you don't want a sharp edge, smooth it in, and then it doesn't matter if it dries on you then, because you can blend into that nice dry edge. There you go. Nice. Don't worry about the dress, that's not important. A little bit more of my medium mix improver. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow ochre onto my brush, and I'm going to bring a little bit more warmth into this side now. Merging that together, as I said, just to get that difference on the one side. Bit of a squirt. Don't ever be afraid. Don't use it too much. And make sure you keep it around roughly about 12 inches away from your painting. I'm just checking my cameras. Otherwise, if you get any large droplets, which is quite possible with any mister, even atomizers, it's going to cause orange peel. And orange peel means that you're going to have little dots appear on your canvas, and it's called orange peel because it looks like the peel on oranges. And I'm going to put a bit of raw sienna and coming into this corner now and mixing that in. And there's not a lot you can do as far as recovering that is concerned. You just got to let it dry, and hopefully when you put another layer on top, then you can hide it. And if I do get that, and it does happen, what I tend to do is put a wash over, or a glaze of colour over, and I tend to find that does help. Now I'm going to wash that brush very, very quickly in some warm water. And now, just looking at this, I'm going to get some yellow ochre and add a bit of white to that. So I want to change that up, brighten it up, and I want to brighten it up even more than that because I want a nice light spot there. Because we've got a dark area here and a light area there, and that's just going to balance your eye. It's just going to balance your eye. There you go. Now, I've been very lucky this week because we've been working in our kitchen. And with the decorating I've been doing as well, which has been quite fun. I mean, I really enjoyed my decorating. And Jane decided that she wanted to change the kettle and the toaster and all the containers that we put our teas and coffees and sugars and stuff in. And I was quite happy because that means Clive has now got a kettle in the studio. I've got a kettle in the studio, so I don't have to run back and forward to make my tea. So I'm going to be having a tea break in 1 second as I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea. My first one in the studio, yes. As I normally have to run back and forth of the house. Now, I'm quite happy with that, so I'm just going to let that dry, clean my brushes, and then make myself a cup of tea, and I'll be back. I like my tea, yes, and I use a lot of tea bags in the studio. Okay, so I just give that a quick dry with a hairdryer. I'll clean my brushes. Nice cup of tea. I'm going to take my hat off, because as you know, with these studio lights, it gets a bit warm in the studio. And where's my bin? There it is. I'm going to get a little bit of kitchen roll. I'm going to pick up a 1-inch short flat. There you go. Pick up a little bit of my medium mix flow improver, and I'm going to get a little bit of yellow ochre like that. I'm going to make a wash, and the reason I use the medium mix is because you can thin that down as much as you like. Medium mix stops the underbinding of paint, which is a big thing with acrylics. If you over thin it with water, it'll have a tendency of peeling off. It will. And I'm going to go all over the entire canvas with that. There you go. To give it a nice glaze like that. And I like doing washes because I think it just gives that glow to a painting. It's my thing. Well, Bob Ross used to do trees, and I do washes and glazes. So let's just get a little bit of white, just increase that area because we've lost a little bit of that whiteness now, that brightness that I wanted, but there. So I'm just gonna bring in a little bit of brighter colour there, like that. Oh, not too much. Maybe look as if it's a bit of a, I don't know, could be just an African sunset, couldn't it? Whatever. It doesn't matter, does it, really? It doesn't. No. And just play with that until you get it to the point that you're really happy with it. Just put a little bit of whatever paint you've got on your brush. Now just scrape it in to the base there like that. Just to lighten that up a touch. There you go. And I've got no edges on this panel. It's actually a piece of plywood, and I've stuck that canvas to it. As I said, please press the iCards if you want to see how I made that canvas panel, and also how to recover brushes. There you go. So I've just cleaned that very quickly. I got 2 pails of water. I got a pail of water with warm water in it with just a little bit of detergent in that. Not a lot. It's just, I wouldn't even say it was detergent really. What it is, I've just rushed my brush onto my soap and I've just rubbed it into the water. So there's a little bit of soap in the water just to break down the acrylic off the bristles, and then it's washed straight into cool or cold deionized water or spring water or whatever water you've got, to hand tap water, and that's how the brushes are rinsed out. Again, I'm just going to speed this up as I draw. Testing with the back of your fingers, never with your fingertips. As you know, it causes grease spots, and that is not good because acrylic doesn't like sticking to grease or anything shiny. It will flake away. It certainly will. Give it a second or two just to cool down, because the last thing we want to do now is for that to actually dry too quick on us. I'm going to get a bit of burnt umber. I'm going to bring that there. A bit of burnt umber. I'm going to mix a little bit of black to it. Just a touch, not too much. Just to darken our colour down. I'm going to add a little bit of my medium mix. And again, I'm twisting my brush. And I'm just going to bring in a little bit of shape to this bowl. There you go. Or basket, it could be a basket, I don't know. I'm just using a small detail brush at the moment, I don't know why, it's just one of the things I picked up. There you go. Not the best thing really for doing this, but it doesn't matter. And in fact, let me just change that brush and pick up a little filbert. This is a number 6 filbert. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that yellow ochre and white mix that we made. There you go. Just try and shape this bowl or basket or whatever this thing is that she's carrying on her head. She is. I think that is amazing how they can do that. And the weights these ladies carry, and they walk for miles. They really do. They walk for miles and miles and miles, and I got greatest respect for anybody who can walk anywhere with something like that on their heads. I'm just using a multitude of colours and just blending these colours together like that. Taking that off my brush, picking up a bit of burnt umber, a little bit of that black and burnt umber mix, and again just mixing that in like that. So I'm going to leave that at that for the moment because it's not sticking and it's sliding around a bit for me. I'm just going to leave that at that. I'll give that a quick swill in the water. Again, I'm picking up some yellow ochre and I'm just going to paint in a dress. A little bit there. I want to bring a little bit down there. Bit of raw sienna now. And I'm trying to use all these colours that we used in the background together. Merging them together like that. We can add a little bit of, just a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of raw sienna. That's better. It's a little bit darker. That's what I was looking for. There we go. And just paint that in. Take some paint off your brush, dry your brush, and just merge those colours together like that. I want this to look quite rough. I'm going to pick up a bit of raw sienna, a little bit of yellow ochre, a touch of white, and do the front. Just get these colours to mix, and this is one dress basically, so we've got to try and make it look as if it's picking up all these different lights and darks and shadows, and we've got to try and make this look like a dress. And this is going to be darkened up a little bit more later on. Let's go straight into some burnt umber now, and let's just bring a bit of that in, mixing what you've got on your brush together, bringing that in, thinking of the way this dress is going to flow. Don't forget, we've got another layer to go on here yet. This is not completely finished, but I want enough of a difference to set it off. So let's go into some raw sienna. I'm going to get that there, yellow ochre, and a touch of black. This is what that looks like on this one. A little bit more, touch of black. Looks okay, that's good. Want a bit of contrast. Again, this is just the first layer, because we can strengthen the colours up with another layer. Now what I'm going to do is bring a bit of this colour over there. I'm using the same colours throughout. That's actually got like a nice grey colour. I'm quite happy with that. There's enough lovely difference there. I like that colour. Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes go with them. If something happens like that, and even when you're painting and you're developing something, and you make a bad brush stroke or something, it used to be called happy accidents. I get major disasters, but go with them, use them, because that's what makes great works of art. So we can get a bit of difference. You don't want any sharp edges. No. Sharp edges are your enemy in this particular type of painting. Yeah, they certainly are. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on this colour again. Let's put a top on. There you go. Okay. What we're going to do with this one, let's go burnt umber black. It's like a Van Dyke brown, that is. It certainly is. I get some lines in there. Taking the paint off my brush, picking up a bit of this lighter colour again. There you are. We'll emphasise that in a minute with a bit of line work. Straight into black. There you are. A bit of black there. There you go. And then let's do these pots. A nice dark colour there. Let's get our raw sienna like that. Just a little bit of white. There you go. Gotta make them noises. You certainly have. Dark black. I'm going to have to show you how to paint. I'll have to show you how to paint a wine bottle on that one day. I think that's going to be cool. And then there's that black. Back in the raw sienna. Bit of white. Yeah. Bit of light there, bit of light there, like that. There you go. How's that looking? That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that so far. How are we looking on camera? Let's have a look. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now, I got my detail brush there. Let's go into a bit of black, straight into some black. A little bit of my matte medium, my medium mix, and I'm going to use Clive stick. And now I'm just going to go on the arm. Now we've got to be a little bit more careful. Now we've got to find that shape that we're looking for, like that. A bit more medium mix. There you go. Twisting the brush to get that point. Spend a little bit of time, think about what you're doing. There you go. And bring your arm in, up a little bit there, into the shoulder. And she's holding the friend's hand. She's saying, "Hiya, how are we doing? I'm on my way to get some water." The friend is saying, "Be careful, there's tigers up there today." Let's just put a little foot's poking out bottom of the dress like that, and then we can just strengthen up this line like that. Now if you're finding that your paint is not flowing well, you haven't thinned it enough, so either use a little bit of flow improver like that, just a dip, just dip that, and then roll your brush around like this. There you go. Get it like a very thin consistency. Now if you're using the medium mix and flow improver, you are not going to underbind the paint, only if you use a lot of water, and that way you'll see that this flows really, really well. So always remember that. It's all it is that your paint is not thin enough, and it's not flowing, and your brush is not loaded correctly. If you loaded your brush correctly, then there shouldn't be a problem. There you go. How is she looking? She looks pretty good there. So let's work on this bowl. Let's put a little line around this ball like that. A couple of lines in there like that. This brush is not ideal. I'm going to have to fix this brush, I think. So that's another one that's got to be put in to be fixed. And sometimes these brushes splay, and if you look after these brushes, they last you a long time. And we tend to forget that our brushes need love, care and attention as much as our paintings do, and we need to look after them, because if we don't, they're not going to work for us. They're going to go on strike, and then you're going to pick one up one day and you say, no, I'm not going to paint for you today, I don't want to. I ain't going to make your life difficult today. I'm going to splay, and I'm not going to flow for you, and I'm just going to be a right pain today because you haven't looked after me and you haven't maintained my bristles. So, and sometimes they just run away and hide, and you try to find a brush and he's hiding behind a pot somewhere and he's looking at you and he's laughing because he said, well, all you have to do is wash me and look after me on a regular basis, and I will work for you. There you go. That's true. Don't think it isn't. Don't think it isn't. And just continue to build up what's going to be a nice painting, I think, today. And this brush is a little bit sad today. I think I must have upset him yesterday. Perhaps I didn't clean him enough, or I didn't put him back in his container with his friends. But you've got to make friends with your brushes. You certainly have. There we go. And it's just increase a little shape here and there like that. If you're having trouble with blending, click on the iCards by there, and there's a blending lesson in there, and that's going to help you with your blending techniques. And it's quite a simple lesson, but it will work and pay you so much dividends in the long term. It really, really will. But I'm going to have a cup of tea because I haven't drunk my tea yet. Dry this off with a hairdryer, and I'm going to go back and we'll do another layer, I think. Okay, so what I want to do now is, before I strengthen up my blacks, I'm going to put a little bit of shadowing in down the bottom because she looks like she's floating in mid-air there. So I'm going to grab myself a little bit of kitchen towel, and I'm going to pick up my shading brush. This is an angled shader, as you can see. It's basically a short flat, but it's got an angle on it. And I'm picking up a little bit of my flow improver and a little bit of this burnt umber. Don't forget, burnt umber can be transparent as well. And I want to maybe just put a bit of black under there, just to make it look as if there is a bit of shadow. We don't want them to float around. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black and just increase the shadow just underneath the foot area, like that. Not too much, but just to make it look as if there's a little bit of shadow there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this white and yellow ochre mix and just put a bit of light in there like that. Picking up a bit of yellow ochre because that's too bright. I'm just going to go straight over that. Whoops, I ruined my bowl. See, this is what happens sometimes when we fiddle. It doesn't matter, we can recover that. Just put a little bit of colour there, a little bit of colour there. Get my shading brush with a touch of black on it. I'm just going to little bit of white. Tighten that up a bit. Bit of raw sienna. And just, that's better. Just trying to recover what I've damaged. And we all do that. We certainly do. Right, let's have a look at this lady here now. I want to strengthen up some colours, so I'm just going to go and straight into some raw sienna again. I'm just strengthening up with my shading brush. One or two little areas like that. A bit of that white and raw sienna there. Just put a little bit of reflection there like that. Just get a bit of there you go. A bit. And just play around a little bit. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go on that little tiny filbert there again. Now I'm going to pick up some yellow ochre. I want to bit of burnt umber. I want to make it look more baskety type of look to it. There you are. Let's put a bit more colour into that one. Let's get a bit of light and go. There we go. Bit of light on this one and just go. There you go. It's looking good. Where's my small number 2? No, this is a zero detail brush. I'm going to go a little bit in my medium mix there. Getting this brush, where's my bin? There it is. Get my brush nice and loaded, and then we're going to put so a couple of little bracelets there, and let's go a bit of a necklace there, like that. Some more bracelets on her arm. There you go. Can't let this one, she'll get upset. She said, where do you get them bracelets from? There you go. And let's give her some earrings. I'll give her some earrings. Yep. And let's give her some rings around there like that. In actual fact, it's got a little bit of black. Tell me what we could do is when we could give a earring there and earring there. So I got a little bit of black on the tip of my brush with some of that cream, and just to make it look as if there's maybe a couple of earrings there like that. What I'm going to do is go straight into some of this black, and I'm just going to strengthen a couple of these areas where the paint is missing, like that. I think we've got a finished painting. So I'm just going to sign my name on the corner of this pot today, put this up for sale in the shop if anybody wants to pop along and purchase that. And thank you very much for joining me in the studio today. My name is Clive from clive5art.co.uk. Have a good day, a good week, a good month of the year, because I'm not too sure when you're going to be watching this, as time is relative on YouTube. So God bless, and I'll see you next time. Nice.